What is up, guys, and welcome back to Flow State, episode 49. We're nearly at the half century. I can feel it. The tension is palpable, kind of. But yeah, we're getting near that milestone. I'm very much looking forward to that. But we are back. It is both of us. Rest assured, we are here, ready to kind of get into some very interesting topics today. And yeah, we've got a lot to talk about because, again, I know for the guys listening, it was about a week and a half ago. But London Marathon has just passed, so we're going to dig into that very soon, and we're going to obviously touch on a little bit of our training, and obviously, well done to everyone that ran Belfast as well. That has just been and gone a couple of days ago. So, congratulations to everyone who finished that, and for everyone that didn't. Sorry, hopefully you're recovering okay. But as always, I'm joined by the man himself. It is Adam, my man. How are you today? How's things?
I'm good, mate. Good speaking to you. I'm very impressed with how well you've just rhymed off all of the different timings and different events, despite the fact that we record before the Belfast Marathon. So you're switched on today, mate. I must say I'm impressed.
Mate, I got a bit of a headache after that one, to be honest. But no, I've had a good sleep last night, so I feel like I'm literally firing on all cylinders.
Good. But you're absolutely right. Belfast Marathon is this weekend coming, but of course when the podcast goes out they'll be finished. So I've spent this week pretty much chatting to all the Belfast marathoners, getting them ready. There's a couple of unique points in the course that it's really worth chatting through some strategy for, and making sure that athletes are prepared to run a really good race in Belfast. So yeah, hopefully you guys that ran Belfast had a really enjoyable race, and a race that you're proud of, and that you're starting to now recover out the back of it. So yeah, mate, that's where we're at. But yeah, it's good to speak to you. I've got my coffee here, just out of bed and ready to go.
Do you have what are we drinking? Were you drinking a double, or are we having a cheeky espresso?
We're on an Americano, so a long black for you Aussie folk.
Yeah,
so double espresso, topped up with hot water. Simple. On an empty stomach, man. It's like rocket fuel.
Do you have a bean of choice?
So I buy them from the local cafe. They're by a roastery called Roasted Brown.
Okay.
I should probably change them up because we've been on those for a good year. That is just an espresso blend, which is good for like espresso or milk-based drinks. So yeah, it's good. Pretty good.
Lovely, mate.
The Americano it makes is lovely. I probably would prefer something else for like flat whites, but the long black / Americano it makes is very, very good.
Did you start your day with an Americano and then switch to the cappuccino later on, or the flat white?
You're absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I know it.
It's an Americano to start, and a flat white. It's usually after I've had my lunch.
Yep. Okay.
Like a little flat white, maybe like half an hour to an hour after my lunch. That's the routine, mate. You've got it in one, and
mate, I like
it tends to be a strict 2 coffee a day strategy. As we know, it's you're playing with fire if you're going anywhere beyond that.
Yeah, I feel like you're rolling the dice, and if you get it wrong, it's just not worth it, man. And I don't know about you, but for me, like I'm a 1 coffee a day guy, and the reason being is like that first one hits so good, and the second one, it's like you kind of it just never quite scratches the same itch, man. It's good, but I'm like, man, I just got to stick to that one, man. Look after my sleep. But
I actually might buy some decaf beans because. Yeah, like I love the idea of just having one at 4 p.m, 5 p.m. if I fancy it.
That's what I do. But I'll have a decaf. Just to again,
we do drink decaf,
taste, man.
Yeah, we do drink decaf tea in this house. Because we get enough caffeine from our coffee, so that might be an option. But then it means having to. Well, it's not that big a deal. Like way out, you can't have any in our coffee machine. We can't have any coffee in the hopper then.
Carry over. Yeah.
And then is there cross-contamination? I don't know.
Just get a little hand grinder.
True, and then just put it in the little portafiller.
Yep. Do it manually.
We're going down a rabbit hole here, aren't we?
It's a good rabbit hole to start off with. I'm trying to. This is.
Well, you are the coffee man.
This is podcast foreplay, dude. Like we gotta warm the people up before we get into the hot stuff. But
well, this coffee, it's absolutely needed. It's needed.
Fair play, fair play. But aside from that, how's training been this week? Are we still progressing? What are we looking like?
Yes, mate, we are. Training's good. I'm feeling like my body wants to go this week. Actually, it's been a week where things have just felt like I've jumped up a little level over the last few days. I don't know what that is. Maybe it coincides with some nice weather that we've had. But yeah, I felt like those easy runs this week have just felt a lot easier. There's a bit of a spring in my step. So I'm going to test a park run tomorrow. Saturday morning, I'm going to go just do a decent warm up, give park run a go, and just see where my fitness currently is. So that's the plan. So I've only done the one workout earlier in the week. And then, I'll test park run on Saturday morning. I then just do an easy long run Sunday. So, yeah, mate, running's good. It's training's good. It's in a good spot. Like I said before, I think it's in that just nice sweet spot where I'm not chasing volume. I'm just ticking the boxes, as cliche as it sounds. That's what I'm doing, and I'm really enjoying that.
And was the plan to free up a little bit of I guess space for performance this week, or is it kind of just something that has fit into place?
No, we spoke about it a while back actually with Dan, just to lay down a number of weeks of training and then just see where fitness is based off not just that training but also the kind of the break / other training that I was doing, just to see as a bit of a benchmarking activity really. I was hoping to do a lactate test actually, like a step test just myself, but couldn't. I don't know if I told you this, couldn't get my hands on strips.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a worldwide shortage of lactate strips, so I think I might have to wait till maybe late June or July to get some strips, and by that point, lactate testing probably won't be my biggest priority.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know what, man? I actually love just training to intuition, using my head, not sort of worrying too much about metrics and data. I love that anyhow, despite the fact that I also love science. So, yeah, training's been great. Really enjoying it. I can talk you through the week if you like.
Why not? I feel like it's been a while since we've done it.
Let's do it. Okay.
Go on.
So last week we finished the pod. We jumped straight off to the final Sela social run of the spring. We'll do another month of social running on Friday mornings from June. So we're taking a break for this month. So I did that. Flat white and a croissant after, almond croissant straight after that, which just hits different on a Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the sun was splitting the stones too. It was just a perfect morning. I could have sat in the cafe all day. Then pretty much right after that, I got myself out for an easy hour. I had an easy hour to do, so instead of going home, getting changed, because I'd eaten and stuff, I felt grand. So did an easy hour, 5 times 15-second strides at the end of that. Felt good. And then Saturday morning, I got out for 2 hours, 18.2 miles, 6:36 per mile. Felt good. It was kind of clipping along. Beautiful morning again. Did a route that takes into account great views of Loch Ness. So anyone that's local to me will know exactly kind of what I'm talking about. Absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite places to run on a morning like that. So perfection in my eyes. That was Saturday. That felt good. I really, again, I noted on that run, my body wanted to go a bit, so I kind of had to be conscious of just holding back. I was wearing the Asics Megablast, which is such a good shoe, actually, in my eyes. At the start, I wasn't sure, because I've sort of been I've been a bit funny with Asics shoes in the past. I haven't loved the Nova Blast or the Super Blast, unlike the masses pretty much. I felt the foam was a little bit slappy, but that Asics Mega Blast, the more that I've worn it, is just lovely, mate. It's the perfect mixture of pop, and what I mean by pop is kind of that firmness or reactivity, but also bounce almost, which is more of that soft kind of bounce, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's a really nice balance of that, and it's super comfortable. So for long running, it's just a joy to run. Or a day if your legs feel a bit beat up, it is just an incredible shoe.
I mean, I've been out of the running shoe space for a little while now. So who's or what is the Megablast designed for? What's the purpose? Because you know how they
Good question.
market it for different
I
kind
think
of
it's yeah.
runners.
I think it's a super trainer. So there's no
Mm.
plate as far as I know, but it is like a super foam based trainer. So pretty expensive, as we know.
Mm.
Those like trainers with the super foam. So essentially, it uses the same foam as the Asics range of racing shoes, the Metaspeed Sky, Metaspeed Edge, but without a plate and with obviously a much more relaxed geometry. So it's like a daily trainer, super trainer slash shoe. So it is the type of shoe you could probably do everything in. Like I did see a video there a while back of Beth Potter, the triathlete, doing like reps on the track in that shoe. I think it's a little bit clunky for track work, but like it's fast enough, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And she was probably using it for like the protection benefits, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, really fun shoe to run in, but I'm pretty sure that's the type of shoe that it is. It's like a super trainer. So what is it for? You could argue it's for everything. Would you want to chuck it on for like every easy run that you do? Probably not, because it's just like it makes well, maybe you would. If you're running a lot of miles, it's a shoe that you maybe would put on for your easy runs because it's going to protect the legs for sure. But it's what I would call a really easy shoe to run in. So super fun. And yeah, I think the thing that I like about it as well is that it doesn't feel like a super shoe. It does. Basically, the people that run will know exactly what I mean here. But when you land in the shoe, you don't have to hit a certain spot for it to feel good. You know,
Yep.
it's quite a forgiving shoe. That's probably a nice way to describe it. Like a golf club that you can kind of hit off the center of the face. It's quite forgiving. It'll still go where you want it to go. That Megablast is quite similar. Whereas I've worn shoes and I have shoes that are a little bit less forgiving. You kind of want to hit the same spot every time, and if you're a little bit tired, that can become quite tricky. Whereas that Megablast, it just like you enjoy every minute of the run. So really nice shoe to wear. I'm really disappointed in the upper. The upper has, my big toe has worn through the upper.
They're they've always felt quite flimsy.
Whoever designed that upper needs to go to jail.
Yeah.
It's poor. Really, really poor. Like it wore through after like 3 weeks, mate. I did send them back to Sports Shoes where I bought them from, and they didn't accept. So I don't know what the protocol is, but I was pretty disappointed because you could see there was no wear on the shoe. Yet my toe had worn through the right shoe and it was currently wearing through the left. But listen, I'll just wear them until they're done because they're a really, really good shoe. Apart from the upper, which is piss poor, but that's fine. We'll deal with it. I am wearing another couple of really nice shoes at the minute. I've absolutely fallen in love with, kind of sidetracked here, but I have absolutely fallen in love with the Nike Vomero Plus.
Yep. Is that the premium looking one?
It's actually not. There's the Vomero Premium and there is the Vomero Plus, or I think there's the Vomero Premium.
It's a good looking shoe, the Plus, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's not the Premium, it's the Plus.
Okay.
It is a good looking shoe. And I actually didn't adore it when I first got it because I had the new Vomero, which is kind of like a slightly lower stag version. Different sole as well. But when I got the Plus, I was comparing it to the non-Plus and much preferred the non-Plus at the start. But the more I've worn the Plus now, I've just fallen in love with it. I think as I've broken it in more and more and I've become more comfortable in it, I just keep reaching for it for easy runs. So yeah, I'm loving that shoe as well. But yeah, I think that's probably enough shoe talk unless you have any questions.
The only other one I was going to ask you if you'd seen or heard about is the New Balance numbers.
Which
what are they called?
Because I am wearing, so McKeever Sports very kindly kitted me out in a pair of New Balance.
The Ellipse?
No, I haven't worn those.
No.
Oh yes, I see those. Very, very nice. Definitely could wear those to the pub.
Yeah. I'm a fan, especially like the kind of the wolf grey is a bit of me all day long. Even just for walking around in, frankly, I'd happily wear those.
I would be a big fan of that white, turquoise, and fluorescent yellow.
Yeah, that's the flagship color. That was the color they released.
They are absolutely class. They've got that colorway absolutely spot on. But they almost don't look like a running shoe. They look like a lifestyle trainer.
100%. That's what I thought. But they're definitely marketing it as a running shoe, and we've spoken about Hugo Fry before here. He's kind of promoted the shoe on his Instagram as well.
Okay, it kind of looks like a cheaper version of a 1080.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's literally a cheaper version of I mean, the 880 is the basic version of a 1080, obviously, but these are retailing at $240. That's very reasonable.
That's the thing. That's kind of what made me say that, because I seen the price and seen how the shoe looks, and it does look like it kind of looks just like a cheaper 1080. And I know a lot of shoe companies are doing that now. They're kind of differentiating between their models based on like build quality.
Yeah. I mean, frankly, the 1080s some of them aren't outrageous, depending on the version you get and the colorway. Like these are, I'm just on the New Balance website here. In Australia, you can pick up a pair of these things for what are we looking at? About $280, which is actually okay, given that if you were to get the equivalent like Asics, it's going to be more expensive. Like it is going to be more expensive.
Yeah, but it's nice to be back running. It's nice to be back in some nice shoes. It's nice to be enjoying it. But I am wearing, sorry, that's what I wanted to say. I am wearing the New Balance, and you got to get this right because it's a mouthful. New Balance Fuel Cell Super Comp Trainer, which is a really lovely trainer. That
does have a plate, doesn't it?
McKeever Sports. It does have a plate. McKeever Sports very kindly kitted me out in.
Shout out.
To try and to wear, which is, I wanted a trainer for long runs and for like pickups and steady running, and that shoe is absolutely class. It's exactly what I like in a shoe, because it's not too high stack. It does look high stack, but it's actually not. When you're wearing the shoe, you can feel that it's not incredibly high stack, because there is quite a bit of stability. I think it's because of the wide base and the firmer foam, so it doesn't give you the impression that it's as high stack as it is, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So you do have that feeling of stability underfoot. And like I say, the foam is not super soft, so it doesn't feel like your ankle or your foot is moving all over the place. So if you're someone that struggles with like maybe a post-tib issue or an ankle issue or a foot issue caused by a lack of stability, which I know a lot of people suffer with now because of shoes such as like the Adidas Evo SL and just a whole host of different shoes that are really fun to run in but quite risky for that type of issue, this shoe's a great option. I don't suffer from any of those things, but very odd time I get a little bit of post-tib pain, but it's like a 1 out of 10. And it does tend to be caused by shoes with a lack of stability. But this shoe is really fun, really great for long runs. Like I say, a really nice like amount of, I just say pop without, I really don't like shoes that feel ultra soft under my foot. So yeah, really enjoying that. The one thing I would say is the heel counter is quite low. So around the ankle area, if you, I'm trying to think of an issue that might not be great for. It doesn't feel super secure around the back of your like Achilles/ankle. So I always use, it's one of the only shoes that I use the runners not in. So
maybe
I do get a bit.
Sorry.
Just so I get a bit more of a lockdown feel in that shoe.
Could be like, we've all been there when you're running and you just happen to, you kind of roll your ankle, you get like a loose bit of ground, and like happens to me all the damn time, because I go from like road to gravel back to road, and I'm very fortunate in that I think for whatever reason my ankles are actually like very robust and I've never had issues. But I feel like some people, if your soft tissues around the ankles are maybe not so robust, I think that's probably gonna lead to issues.
Yeah, I work with an athlete that actually rolls their ankle quite regularly, and it's a weakness and causes quite a few issues. But I'm the same as you. I would roll my ankle quite often, just when I don't know, just when you step off a curb or you do something. And thankfully, so far, so good. No issues. I'm just going to touch wood. Because, yeah, I think I rolled my ankle this week once.
I
Just
definitely
just
did.
running along a path. Or if you move aside to run around a dog or something and you kind of miss your step. So easily done. But yeah, that shoe is really brilliant. I'm loving it. It's a shoe that just makes you want to run with a fast cadence and a high turnover. And I really like that because that's the way I like to run. So any shoe that encourages me into that instead of a long loping stride, I really like.
Yeah, nice.
I feel like that's when I run most economically.
Mm-hmm.
So that shoe's in a beautiful color. I'm actually going to do a little review on Instagram for them.
Yeah, lovely.
Shout out to McKeevers for providing me with that shoe because it's a cracker.
Mm-hmm. Still waiting for them to sponsor the pod. Come on, McKeever. Let's see what you got. No, but
Absolutely.
that's awesome, man. Where were we in your week? That was
So we had got to the first run. No, sorry, we'd covered the long run on Saturday. I was just chatting through the Asics Megablast. So Sunday morning then, just got out for 57 minutes, 8 miles after the London Marathon, which we'll come to. Big talking point. 7:11 per mile on Sunday. So again, pulled up really well from the long run and felt really good. Monday morning, 58 minutes, 7:15 per mile, 8 miles on the button. Monday afternoon, 44 minutes, 6:24 miles at 7:04 per mile. Did just note in this run that I was feeling like my body wanted to start going again. Like I really felt like I could have ran a session that day, or my body just wanted to run quicker. But the weather was beautiful, so that could have been it. The endorphin hit. Tuesday then, I did a really fun session on the treadmill. I did 40 by 30 seconds. We discussed the 30 times 30 seconds run that I did, I think a while back. But yeah, added 10 reps to that. When you think about it, it's only 20 minutes worth of faster running.
Yeah.
And you're just taking a 15-second break between the reps. So broken into 4 sets of 10.
That's basically a fartlek, isn't it? It's a weirdly spaced fartlek.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess you're stopping completely, so it's
not quite, but I know what you mean. It pretty much feels like it because you don't really feel like you're resting. It's just enough to kind of let things settle. Like you see as the workout goes on, because it was broken into 4 sets of 10, obviously you get the just over a minute break between the sets, but throughout the set of 10 reps, you see your heart rate trace. It just pretty much stays in one place, just drops a little bit, comes up a little bit, but it stays pretty high. So yeah, really, really fun workout. Did on the treadmill, really nice for establishing that rhythm, and really enjoyed that. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday then, I did 60 in the morning, 7:15 per mile, 8.3 miles, and 40 in the evening. Yeah, 7:15 per mile, 5.6 mile, 40 minutes on the button. And then yesterday, instead of doing another workout, because we're going to test parkrun on the weekend, I just did 1 hour. Got moving a little bit actually, 6:48 per mile, 9 miles on the button, and yeah, felt really good. So that was the week. Yeah, anything planned for today? So yeah, today's just going to be an easy 45 minutes with some strides at the end. Yeah, Fridays are typically easy / recovery days anyway, so just do that. We'll give parkrun a bit of a go tomorrow, all being well, and then Sunday, just an easy long run. 2 hours, just super easy.
Lovely. Is there any volume prior or after parkrun, or are you literally just going to show up, do a little warm up, and then 5K and then piss off home?
Yeah, pretty much.
Win the thing and go home, basically.
Pretty much. Well, not except the win bit. Yeah, just
no,
just give it a go. Well, I don't know, mate. I might go to. There's a couple of options here. We have a local parkrun in Craigavon, which isn't that fast a course, or you have Victoria Parkrun in Belfast, which is actually one of the fastest parkrun courses in the world. So I might take a little drive down to Belfast on Saturday morning, but to be decided. I'll decide tonight. What if I can be bothered jumping in the car, or if I want to just jog around to our local. the thing about running on the local is kind of I know what a certain time means on that course, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like I
Yeah.
kind of know how it's still a good benchmarking activity for me to
You've
run on
got a
that course because
reference point.
it's a reference point. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Mhm.
Belfast Marathon's this Sunday, so we're definitely going to be down in Belfast on Sunday for the marathon. So yeah, who knows? I might just stay local tomorrow, but we'll see. I've got a fresh pair of Adidas Adios Pro 4, I want to say.
Yeah, the brand new ones?
Oh no, not the brand new
No.
ones.
3 then.
Maybe
3 were the last iteration.
how new? Or yeah, Adios Pro 3.
I don't
Yep.
think the 4's even been released yet, or if
Oh,
it has.
no, sorry, it is the 4, mate. It is
It
the 4.
is?
Yeah. The 4 has been released and they've been out for quite a while.
Okay.
I think you're thinking of the Pro Evo.
Sorry, yeah. I mean the 5s. I think the 5s have just no, are they? Am I talking crap? No,
Yes, you're.
the 5s have been announced.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Okay.
But Sawa and Kajelcha, they were wearing the Pro Evo.
Pro Evo 3.
Pro Evo 2.
But wasn't it oh mate, I'm so confused with all these damn
Yeah,
shoe iterations.
They were wearing the Pro Evo 3. I think you're right, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember there was a lot of talk around the Pro Evo 2 when they came out, and it was
You're right,
like,
mate.
well, they're not actually that as good as the price warrants. Even for these like elite athletes, they're not actually that that good a product to warrant being costing basically $1,000 or £500 or whatever.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Pro Evo, Pro Evo 3.
Mm-hmm.
They are. Yeah, I've got a fresh pair of those that I might chuck on for the first time tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have worn them once or twice, but yeah, I have been doing all my training in the endorphin speed, so it might be nice to stick them on and give Parker on a lash. So looking forward to that. But that's been my week, mate.
Lovely, mate. Look, we're wanting to talk about London pretty bad, so I'll rush over my week because my structure hasn't really changed. So I'm still kind of getting out. I'm over the weekend. I'm just doing 90 minutes both days, 90 minutes to kind of an hour and 45 of just steady zone 2 volume. I'm still doing my resistance training on a Monday into what has actually been my only training session, as in like intensity session on a Tuesday. And I still just do a sweet spot that kind of ends up being, again, anywhere from 90 minutes to hour and 45. But the work done is 2 sets of 20 minutes, kind of just under my FTP. That's my kind of quality session. And then Wednesday, Thursday, it's either a run or a 90-minute zone 2 with a little bit of resistance training on both days. And I feel like what I'm managing at the moment is just a lot of soreness in my legs. I think it's kind of the resistance training just always leaves me sore, and then because I'm doing so much, it's not really getting to an opportunity to dissipate. So I'm just experimenting with kind of timing and how that's looking from a resistance session standpoint. But then I guess the one run I'm doing at the moment still kind of, I actually tackled, it's kind of gone up to about 11K now on a Thursday. And annoyingly, I don't know if you've ever had this, I was about halfway through on Thursday and my calf started to like get really tight in a very specific spot, almost feeling like it was pulling. And so the second half of that run was a little bit sheepish, like it's slow at the best of times, but I kind of was a bit cautious finishing that one. And I've got protocols to deal with this kind of thing, 'cause it's happened before, but it's just annoying that I've got one run I can do a week comfortably, and then even then the calf starts to pull a little bit. And I think that's probably, in fact, I don't know why that was, because nothing really changed from a previous week. It could just be just workload taking a toll. But other than that, the run was fine. And then today, Friday afternoons have been my opportunity to get out for long rides recently, because I've got a bit of spare time after work and the roads are relatively quiet. So literally just this afternoon got back from about 2 hours 20, did about 55K with
nice.
a fair bit of climbing. I think it's about 800 meters elevation, which is
what a Friday.
It's lovely, and the weather's been great here.
Well, I was just about to say, it looks like you've got a little bit of a tan, mate.
Mate, I might have done. Like I'm
I
wearing
think
the
you have.
factor 50 still, but maybe I'm picking up a little bit of sun.
Good on you. Looking
I'm
after that
okay with
skin.
that. Have to, man. Have to.
Yeah, we're in our 30s
Um,
now, no?
yeah, mate. I don't want to be looking like an old boot when I'm 40, so gotta gotta put the sun cream on. But yeah, that's my week, and I can't hold it in, mate. Like it's what everyone's been waiting for.
Mm.
Last Sunday, so we're recording on the 1st of May, or 1st of May it's 1st of May for both of us, funnily enough. Um, fucking time zones, mate, wild, isn't it? But yeah, the Sunday just passed was the London Marathon, and something very special happened. We had two people go sub 2 hours, which is pretty wild considering it's never been done, and the only other person to do it did it in a controlled environment outside of marathon conditions. And that was, like, for anyone who saw Eliud Kipchoge doing the breaking two, like they were pacing him the whole way. They were running in a certain shape to get a certain wind flow. Like it was
They had
dial.
lasers.
They had lasers. They were
They
dialing it
waited
in.
on the perfect day.
Yep. Yep. They attempted it on multiple occasions, and two people have just gone and done it on a random Sunday, basically in normal marathon conditions. And it's kind of, it's not breaking the internet's a bit of an exacerbation, but I feel like it's done a lot towards that. It's got the attention of many people, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It's out of this world. I watched it live and was in sheer amazement, disbelief. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was incredible on Sunday. I guess firstly, just to quickly summarize the results, I'm sure most people listening to this podcast probably know, but Sebastian Sawe ran a new world record, 1:59:30. Per Kajelcha, 10 seconds behind him in 1:59:40 on marathon debut. And Jacob Kiplimo, a new world record, or would have been world record, in 2 hours and 28 minutes. Or sorry, 2 hours and 28
28
seconds.
seconds, yeah.
In the ladies, Isefa ran a women's only world record in 2:15:41. Helen O'Beary was behind her, and Jep Koskei behind her. That was actually a really great race. I watched that too, because the coverage was flicking between the men's and the women's, and the women's, the three of those were together for, right up till, I want to say, like 41-ish kilometers, and really tight race, really high quality. You could see they pushed each other along at a really solid, strong pace, and then over the last 5-6 kilometers, they kind of slowed down because no one wanted to take it on and really front run it and give it a crack, but yet still ran a women's only world record. Anyone that doesn't know what that means, it means women only in the race, without sort of other people or male athletes around them to kind of potentially run a fast pace. So that was the women's. But yeah, like we said, we've seen a sub 2. We've seen two sub 2 marathons for the first time on Sunday, and yeah, mate, just out of this world. I don't know what to say. I just couldn't believe I was seeing that time on the clock as Sawe came through the finish. It was just like, yeah, we've taken this massive step forwards in marathon running. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is where it gets interesting, isn't it? Because this has been something that has been so elusive for so long. The fact that it happens like this, it's, I guess, like, I'm skeptical. I mean, we've said many times.
Well, you have
on
to
this,
be.
You have to be. You have to be. Always have to be. Because I've said it many times on this podcast. Like, in the world of cycling, I truly believe that absolutely, or not absolutely everyone, but everyone who's anyone is fiddling with the dark arts in like these, because these kind of performances are superhuman, and I in the heart of hearts want to believe that everything is by the book, but you got to think, like, they're saying it's down to the shoes, and like we said, these were like a prototype Adidas super shoe that the guys were running, and yes, I do believe that's enough to kind of give some, like, fraction of a percentage of an advantage, but it's like,
Yeah.
is it really that much? Like, is it
Yeah.
really that much? Or has suddenly, like, has their training, because even for these specific individuals, I think I'm right in saying that, like, they're obviously PBs, of course they would be, but like they're quite large PBs, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a few talking points that are really interesting on this. Firstly, you know, the shoes are one element. I know we know Adidas released a brand new shoe, the Pro Evo 3, I think we just said, which is like the Pro Evo 2 was at least a one-use type super shoe that was super, super light. This one was under 100 grams. I think it was 98, less than a deck of cards. Ridiculously light. That is one element that I guess can be looked at. I don't think any variable can be looked at on its own. But I've heard within the athletics world of the perfect storm, first and foremost, two athletes competing, you just can't beat that. Competition will bring out the best in any athlete. Quite simple. So when one athlete is chasing down another, it really does encourage that athlete to run as hard as possible. And you could see Kajelcha was constantly putting the pressure on Sebastian Sawe, and he was using that as fuel to push and to push and to push. Secondly, the weather for the elites, and that's a big note here that we can probably talk about, where sort of mid packers probably struggled a little bit as the day wore on and as the heat grew, but possibly a weather thing whereby first and foremost temperatures were fantastic for the elite runners. But similarly, there was a slight easterly breeze, which is quite rare in London, which meant for the final section of the race, there was a slight tailwind, which is quite rare, like I say, in London. Usually during that section of the course, the wind's blowing in the opposite direction, if anything, and can cause significant slowing along the embankment and towards the finish. So that could have played into athlete hands. But yeah, I think you're right. I agree. There always is an element of skepticism around performances like this one. It should also be noted that I know Sawe's coach back in 2016 was charged with the administration of banned substance to, can't remember her name, but it's on the tip of my tongue, but to a Boston/Chicago or London winner who was subsequently banned. So I think he did deny those charges at the time, but he was involved. He was her coach. He was within the setup. That always raises a slight red flag too. So yeah, it's a really interesting discussion point. No performance, I think, can be looked at without that skepticism now, especially one like this. I mean, what an incredible athlete both Sawe and Kajelcha are. I know Sawe, he ran 2:02 in Berlin in September last, on a day where temperatures were 25 degrees, so we knew he was something special. He also went to pace the Seville half marathon. I don't know if you know about this one, but he went to pace Seville half marathon to either 8 or 10 kilometers, whichever of the two he could get to. He went and he kept running and he won the thing. So clearly an incredibly talented special athlete, that has unbelievable ability. But yeah, we seen a 1:59:30 and then we seen a 1:59:40. All in the same race.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's like, for anyone who doesn't, I do recommend checking out Jonah Rosner's mailing list, because he, good on him, sent out something today just kind of breaking down obviously not, there's nothing at all to do with any accusations or dark arts talk of that, just basically talking about how, like, all this talk of, it's the shoes are it. It's like, look, the shoes, like you said, he reckons, where's he got it?
Just marketing though, isn't it? It's just Adidas doing their thing. Oh,
of course, and they have to. They're there to make money. But in short, they're saying, like, look, the shoes are probably going to give you this amount, this percentage, but then it's a mix of everything. Like you said, the perfect storm. Like, it could have been the day, got the fueling right. Like, I think there was some altitude training prior for Sawe, so maybe that had something to do with it. But then,
I think he lives in Kenya, so he trains at altitude. like
There you go.
all year round. His running group or their training group are one of the fastest in the world. So he's got training partners that are like elite and world like any like any African runner, to be honest. They all train within large groups.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I mean, perfect storm is definitely one way to look at it. I do think the competition element has a massive influence on the time,
I believe that the two of them together, and to be honest, I just want to make this really clear, and I've always said this. I think regardless of whether something's been done legally or illegally, I still think it's absolutely phenomenal. And I would not take a thing like Lance Armstrong winning like 7 Tour de France's. I don't care what he did. That is phenomenal.
Yeah. Someone still covered 26.2 miles on foot in under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which a human being,
yes,
not a robot.
I don't care what you've done. Like, their body has still gone through that, and like it's never been done before. So frankly, like I wouldn't care. I still think that's a huge achievement, and I think having the two of them being there for competition probably did drive them for those specific times. Like, you never know. Had there not have been that competition, you might have knocked 20 seconds off. Like, yeah. So yeah,
the way in which he sped up in the final 10 kilometers, the way he ran it was just, the split just kept coming down and down. And that's what I mean when I said, like, I was in just total like amazement at it. I was like, is this actually happening? He dropped like a 4:12 mile at like 24 miles. And I was just like, I was just watching the TV, and Kira was sitting with me, and I was like, what is happening here? Like, he just ran a 4:12 mile at mile 24. I was like, he is superhuman what he is doing right now.
An average of 250 per kilometer.
And then he runs through the finish line 30 seconds under the 2 hour barrier, and you're like,
that's
has that actually just happened?
That's a long time. He's going to have a sit down and a cup of tea before it reaches 2 hours. Like, that's wild.
Just like, what has just happened?
Yeah.
Madness.
It's phenomenal. And I think the other thing to be said is like it's like the 4-minute mile. This is what Steve Magnus always comes back to, is that like it was so elusive for so long, and then someone does it and all of a sudden like everyone's doing it. I think there is probably that psychological aspect.
He's going to be that trailblazer.
Yeah, I think now that it's happened, I think we're going to see a heck of a lot more of it. And then whether or how people are doing it, like, let's leave that alone now, because whether they're doing it or not, I suppose we'll find out, because they're going to be
perhaps we'll never know,
or not. But I feel like they are doing a lot of testing, and they are getting these guys, they are popping
and
in.
I think that's an interesting point that should be discussed. I think for people that don't fully immerse themselves in the world of athletics or science or whatever, they kind of just read maybe the sports news pages or the social media stuff. I mean, we can talk about testing, and I know a lot of people have jumped to Sawe's defense when chatting about potential doping, as in like, well, Adidas are sponsoring all of this extra testing. It's like, I don't think people understand how elaborate some doping protocols actually are, and how the potential for the doctors that are potentially administering or dispensing said doping protocols are so much further ahead than the testing bodies themselves and the testing protocols to pick up these or to detect these substances. So, people are very smart, and there could be new compounds being made that are completely undetectable, maybe totally personalized to the individual. I don't know. I'm just we know how technologically advanced the world has got now. So surely, like, people aren't just popping EPO into their arm with a needle and just saying, hopefully I'm not tested, or hope, I'm sure these protocols for doping at the top end of athletics in our world are very elaborate if they're going on. So, the whole like, but he gets tested extra, Adidas are funding all this extra testing. To me, to a degree, it kind of actually raises a further eyebrow in terms of like the need to prove innocence. It's like, well, why do you need? I get it. He's the best, so of course there's going to be a lot more skepticism around those performances, so perhaps that's why. But to me, it's like it doesn't actually mean that much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Did
And
you listen? Sorry, go on.
go on. No, go.
Did you listen to the Inside Running boys?
I didn't. I haven't. I'm not really. I've been off the podcast for a little
Yeah.
bit, but I'm keen to know what they thought.
So you got to go listen. Similar to us, really, but you got to go listen to Julian.
Yeah.
Basically, Julian was in London he was there with Puma, with his work, and they dialed Julian into the episode. I wish they had Julian on the full episode. When Brady and Bradley started talking at the beginning, and I realised that Julian wasn't with them, I was a bit disappointed because I really wanted to hear him. But then they dialed him in from London later and spoke for about 5 minutes. First and foremost, it sounded like he'd been on the beer. He was like, but he was so, as they would say, he was so up and about.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was great to listen to. I mean, he didn't say it was a bullshit record or anything like that, but he was just so funny to listen to because he was so up and about. You got to listen to it. He was hilarious. I was just sitting. I was walking. I went for a walk while I was listening to it, and I was just laughing. Because especially if you know him and have listened to him for a while, he was
such
just
good
hilarious.
value. He's such.
So
good
I would
value.
definitely recommend anyone that hasn't listened to the Inside Running podcast, that does listen to it regularly, go listen to their post London episode, and especially pay attention to when they dial Julian in from London, because just absolutely hilarious. But yeah, what a race, what a performance. I don't even know what to think about it.
Phenomenal. I mean, look, listeners, we'll let you kind of make your mind up. I think the key is always, I think a level of skepticism is always a good thing, because at the very least it will stop you getting disappointed later down the track. And I think it's important to see these kind of situations as objectively as possible. That's the way I look at it, and kind of hope for the best, but always expect for the worst, realistically.
The last thing I did just want to mention on London was the mid-packers and the people towards the sort of middle and the end of the race, whereby, because London, I think a lot of people came away from London on the weekend a little bit disappointed with their performance. There wasn't a lot of really stellar mid-pack performances. So anywhere from like the 2:30 to the 5-hour, 6-hour marathon runner, a lot of people didn't run just as fast as they maybe planned or wanted to. And the weather did play a role in those performances, because as the day goes on, it gets warmer. And that is, for me, one of the big reasons why London doesn't always produce fast times among that range of athletes. Also, I think there's another couple of factors, such as training all winter in the Northern Hemisphere through the cold and the rain, and then going to London in late April when there can be just a very warm day. It literally could be the first day that you run in any kind of warmth. So that brings about like a stress. Also, the fact that it can be quite crowded, and it can be almost overwhelming, I think, for some runners in London. So for that reason, like I said, London doesn't always produce really good performances. And I know a lot of like really high quality club runners, they have never set their PBs at London Marathon. So I think that's just an important talking point. That the weather did get, it did heat up throughout the course of the morning / early afternoon. We know London doesn't kick off until like 9:30 for the elites, so it's quite late. There'd be a lot of athletes starting at 10:30, 11 o'clock, so on, and out there for a long time. So that definitely was a factor. And I know, having spoke to a few athletes, they did struggle in the heat. I do think if you train all summer and then had a London Marathon, it would be different, because you would have somewhat better adaptations to the heat. But just a quick point that I wanted to make on London.
No, very good point. Very good point.
Plans for the weekend, mate. Parkrun tomorrow. Bit of work to do as well over the weekend. Going to head down to Belfast on Sunday for the marathon, and then we have a bank holiday on Monday. So it's always a nice weekend. This first May. So what about you?
Yeah, lovely. And it's good time as well in the UK, because I do miss the spring. Spring hits different here, because you kind of get, I don't know, it's where you miss it for so long, and then you start to get it, and it's just like, it's just relief. I do miss that. But yeah, I say that as it's been like 26, 27 today, and we're getting into winter. So yeah, amazing. Yeah, not heaps of plans. Little bit of kind of bit of a family gathering tomorrow. Like I said, I got out for my long ride today, so I think I'll probably just do a couple of early morning Zwift sessions, so I can be on top tier, kind of ready for dad duties. And then nothing. I don't think anything planned Sunday. We'll see how the day goes. But yeah, like we've always said, once the kids arrive, like life is kids, especially weekends. So no major plans. But guys, look at that. We've basically been best part of 55 minutes today. I'm happy with that for a podcast. Yeah, as always, thanks for tuning in. Have we got any races to say good luck for, or are we done with the season now?
We do still have Edinburgh and Copenhagen, but not this coming weekend. So just want to double check that Copenhagen isn't. Just bear with me. Yeah, we can say Copenhagen.
Okay,
Copenhagen Marathon. Anyone running there this weekend, good luck. 10th
good
of May.
luck. Absolutely done. There you go. Good luck, guys. Looking forward to hearing about it. Maybe we'll have some more talking points from that one. So, yeah, as always, if you could spare us a like, a follow, a subscribe, any and all of that good stuff is much appreciated. But otherwise, we will look forward to checking in with you guys again soon. Thanks and take care.